Hello, and welcome to the Elegant Balance Podcast, where we explore how to create a well-balanced life full of simplicity, joy, and beauty. I'm your hostess, Dr. Kaylee Hackney, wife, working mom, and expert in the work-life interface. In this podcast, I'll be sharing the science behind work-life balance, practical tips, and plenty of love and encouragement along the way. My desire is to inspire women to pursue their elegant balance. I'm so excited that you're here. Let's get started. Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be here today. I have been wanting to record a podcast for a really long time, and so I'm just really excited to sit down and finally do this. It's basically a dream come true. So here we go. Today, what I want to talk about is pursuing an elegant balance. Do you ever feel like you are being pulled in 1,000 different directions? Do you ever feel like the demands are constantly piling up on top of you? There's things like working on those projects that need to be completed, spending quality time with your spouse, helping your kids with their homework, taking them to play dates, potty training them, and in general just trying to keep them alive. Also, we need to try and stay in touch with our friends. We need to love them and support them. This list could go on and on forever, and just saying it out loud feels kind of exhausting. But the reality of starring in these multiple roles that we have as women, such as employees and mothers and spouses and friends, is that truly engaging in each of these roles is going to place demands on our time and on our energy. The problem with this is that we only have so much time and energy to give. And when we give too much, we're going to put ourselves at risk of feeling depleted, feeling depressed, and just burnt out. I say we because I feel this all the time, way too often. In some recent research, the Sky Learning's 2019 Annual Work Confidence Survey, they found that almost 75% of employees reported feeling burned out. And the number one reason, what do you think it was? It was a lack of time for their personal life. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to be just another number to be included in these type of statistics. So I've decided to do something about it. I have a PhD in organizational behavior, which is basically the psychology side of business. And I have spent a lot of time in the last 7 years researching the work-family intersection. On top of that, I'm a wife and have been for about 10 years. And I have 2 young kids, a 6-year-old son and a 2-year-old daughter. Since having my first baby in the second year of my doctorate program, I have been refining my definition of work-life balance and trying to really intentionally pursue what I like to call my elegant balance. This podcast is basically your invitation to join me on this journey towards learning to live more intentionally and cultivating the work-life balance that we all desire. So, what is elegant balance? I have always enjoyed old films. I discovered Breakfast at Tiffany's while I was still in high school, and from then on, I was enamored by Audrey Hepburn. For me, she seemingly effortlessly embodies elegance. I can't help but wonder, how would Audrey handle all of these crazy demands that I constantly find myself facing? Would she give in to the overwhelm, or would she sweep in and take care of things with ease? You might be asking yourself, what in the world does elegance have to do with work-life balance? Well, let's start with the definition of elegance. Elegance refers to the beauty of something unusually simple and effective. Did you catch that, friends? It's simple and effective. If you were able to create a life where you could meet the demands from your various roles with simplicity and effectiveness, how much differently would you feel? I can say that I would feel much lighter. If things were simply and effectively taken care of, it would allow me to have space to pursue the things that really matter to me, things that light me up, things that make life beautiful. Now, some of you might be a little bit skeptical about ever being able to achieve a work-life balance. You've tried to do it all, and instead of feeling balanced, you just feel like you're wiped out and you're exhausted. So let me explain what I mean when I refer to work-life balance. Balance can be defined as a condition in which different elements are in the correct proportions. Based on this definition of balance, we don't have to devote equal amounts of time to the various roles we hold. This is really good news because it invites you to define the correct proportions for yourself. Yet many of us haven't taken the time to truly reflect on our ideal work-life balance, let alone take any steps toward creating it. Instead, we're stuck in this vicious cycle of reacting to the demands, whether they're from work or our spouse or our kids or our friends, and we're allowing these external forces to define our work-life balance for us. The problem with this is that we don't always like their definition of work-life balance. So, now you might be asking yourself, okay, Kaylee, that all sounds great, but how can I actually pursue what you call an elegant balance? This is a really big question, which is why I like to think of pursuing an elegant balance as a journey. It's a journey that begins with true reflection of what we want our life to look like. Do you want to be the woman who always feels frazzled, who's trying to do 1,000 things at once, who feels guilty because she can't adequately do any of them fully? No, probably not. But who do you want to be? What type of woman did you dream about being when you were a little girl, on your wedding day, when you first found out you were pregnant? How does that version of yourself define her work-life balance? What proportion of her time and energy are dedicated to the different roles that she stars in? From there, we can take baby steps toward becoming that woman. We raise our standards about what we allow into our lives. We learn how to say no. We learn time management skills. We learn to be more comfortable with imperfection. And we learn to make time to care for ourselves so that we can care for others. So who do you want to be? Amazing things can really happen when we start practicing intentionality in our lives. I'd love for you to join me on this pursuit of an elegant balance. What could you do this week to take a small step towards your elegant balance? Think about it and let me know. Thank you so much for listening to the Elegant Balance podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any of our future conversations. Also, it would mean a lot to me if you could leave me a 5-star rating and review in iTunes or wherever you're listening to this episode. Thank you, friends, and have a beautiful, joy-filled week.